Thank you for staying with us. We still have with us our panelists in the studio as well as on the Google Plus Hangout. So, just to get to continue the conversation, rather, I mean, that analysis or the analogy you gave,
Yes.
well, actually makes sense. But again, it boils down to, again, or it comes back to the fact that one has to be responsible. So the issue
Yes.
of fact checking now,
Yes.
as journalists, we have fact checking modalities. But what about internet users? He has also raised the issue of, okay, reports.
Report. Exactly.
So how do we, I mean,
Exactly.
how do we fact check online? Let me put this before you, Sean.
Very well. It's quite easy, but yeah, working online has a couple of technicalities. So you can decide to have this action taken and taken in good time. Yeah, okay, there are modalities that are very basic as regards journalists in checking facts and, coordinating information. But now for the general internet user who is just, everybody has the power of a journalist, provided you have Twitter, you can decide to tweet, you can decide to take pictures, crop
It doesn't
pictures,
make you a journalist.
but that doesn't make you a journalist.
Yeah.
But yeah, the powers actually has now made you,
It's
able
An
to
huge.
influence.
information
Yeah,
carrier.
so you're able to
Information.
influence actually what could happen in your immediate community and even somewhere else in the world where you aren't. So now, getting facts checked, now it's an obligation. Yeah, as the person we spoke to last rightly said, it's very important that you flag when you see. Don't just look the other way.
Yeah.
It's just like a domino effect. Yeah, taking one block out could stop the fall. Exactly. So it's just very important that you take it as it's an obligation. Okay, just as the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria just said not too long ago, Stuart Smithson.
Symington, yeah.
Yeah, it talked about people being held for things they've done. Yeah, so because it just takes a single match to light the forest on fire.
Yeah.
Let me bring Kolade and Boy back into the conversation. We're still looking at fact checking information, of course, on the social media as well as on other platforms that are enabled by technology. How do we do that? How do we check these things? Kolade.
Okay,
Yeah.
Victor, about fact checking,
Yeah.
that really bothers me because sincerely, I'm going to say this and I'm going to be frank.
Which is what I expect.
Your industry, let me use that. Your industry, they are really failing in that duty because it baffles me at times when a newspaper company, a media company is the one dishing out wrong information on social media, and they will have to now come back. You get it to now retract their message and now apologize. In the first place, what is the purpose? What are they supposed to do before dishing out information? Is to do a fact check. You get it? And another thing again that your industry's responsibility is to always fact check everything that you say that is trending online and come out and say, you know what, this is what we see after doing our own investigation. This is what it is. If we do that, or if you pick up that whatever, things will be much more better. Because for the layman who is in the village, who does not even know anything, as soon as the message comes in, if it suits them, they just rebroadcast it. And arresting such a person, you get it, honestly speaking, to me, it will sound somehow because they don't even know. They are novice. And now, just because of the advent of social media, my grandma in the village now knows how to use what they call, our own is just to rebroadcast everything that comes our way, though she does prayers anyway. But just imagine that kind of, so to me, I think the media industry has a very good role to play in fact checking things and
Let's.
thinking out.
In as much as I agree, I mean, what about that individual responsibility? Where does it go to?
Yes, everybody has well, Google is there for you. I keep telling people because you should be held responsible for your actions, for the things you post online, whether you forwarded it or you rebroadcasted. You should be held because for you to even use it. But I'm just feeling for some people though, Google is there. Make Google your friend. Anything they post that you see, oh, put it on Google, read about it before you even say, okay, I want to rebroadcast it. And if you know yourself, you have a personal conviction that, oh, this thing can destroy. You know things that you're sending out to just get sentiment or just to ignite something. You to know yourself. And once you see such a thing, refrain. So many times I see broadcasts that I know that, oh, it's a right thing for me to send, but if I should send this thing, it's going to create unnecessary. I'll just let it be. We need to pick up that moral responsibility of at least helping our nation grow.
Yes.
So let me just bring in Boye. I mean, to close the hangout segment for us, Boye. So apart from the individual, so let's even say that there should be a need for individuals, for electorates, for citizens to be compelled legislation. Are we seeing anything in that regard?
Yeah, so first, we have to also understand that the digital platforms, it's a new reality that we are embracing. And I believe that over time, the way we use it will mature, it will keep maturing. There are a couple of platforms that I'm aware of that are set up specifically for fact checking, for example. But I believe that it takes a while before people start getting used to probably even consulting those platforms, or even for those platforms to be robust enough to be able to meet the fact-checking requirement that has to happen on social media, given that information spread very fast. So, I'm going to say about this is that
Please quickly.
Okay, so what I'm going to say about it is that we have to embrace the fact that things will not happen as fast as we would have loved to have it happen. I mean, this is not an issue that is like a switch that you just put it on and put it off.
Yeah.
It's a process, and we are like the guinea pig generation.
All right.
But I believe that over time we are going to mature on how we digital platforms for communication, for spreading information, and even for fact checking generally.
All right, very well. I have to say thank you for joining us on the program today, Boye. You joined us from Lagos, Nigeria. You are the programs manager that's West Africa Programs Manager for Paradigm Initiative, as well as Khalid Kaide, who joined us from New York. Khalid, thanks as well for joining us. I'd have to say thank you to all of you as well for joining us on the program. But we have to leave the conversation here and hopefully, and just hope that, things will be all right as the election comes. Okay. But that's where we are. We'll take a break and I'll be back with the most viewed videos on our YouTube channel in the past week. Please stay with us.
We begin this week's most viewed videos with a debate between presidential candidates weighing voters ahead of the election.
Nigeria have no voice and no choice.
It is followed by the video of the crash helicopter conveying Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo from Abuja to Kaba in Kogi State.
Former President Obasanjo did say that he's comparing this government.
Next in third is comments made by the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress on the personality of former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo.
Obasanjo cannot look me to the eye and said those things because he is a worse dictator. He was worse than Abacha. How many people disappeared under Abacha's watch compared to the number of Nigerians who disappeared under Obasanjo's watch, including his own Attorney General, who didn't get justice?
Are you justifying what is happening under this government?
No, I'm saying that
because
Obasanjo is not a fit, a proper person. Even if you reduce it to even family values, Nigeria culture, the argument between him and his son over who is the actual father of his children. I mean, don't talk about Obasanjo. Let's face it. There's a problem I have that in Nigeria, Obasanjo seems to be able to eat his cake and have it. He cannot sermonize on morality.
Second spot is held by the stand taken by senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, on the suspension of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Walter Onnoghen.
You can't fight corruption without following due process. Therefore, I'm going to advise, honestly speaking, that the government should, as a matter of urgency, lift the suspension on the Chief Justice. And since the Chief Justice has so much on his own admitted that he did not declare his assets, he should do the needful by calling it quits.
You mean Justice Onnoghen should quit the bench?
Should be prepared to quit the bench after the suspension has been lifted. It should be advised.
I am challenging them openly.
I'm challenging.
And the top video for this week is the debate between spokespersons of two leading political parties over the endorsement of the candidates of the PDP.
Call a rally of Yoruba people the same day at another venue in Lagos and let us see the turnout.
I want to tell him that he should look at the Atiku campaign properly. That in Kaduna, Atiku gathered twice the number of people that Buhari gathered.
And there you go. Those were the most viewed videos on our YouTube channel in the past week. However, while government agencies are working to stop the trend, it is also the responsibility of the individual to double-check and verify the intended content so as to avoid being part of the long chain of spreading fake news. On that note, we wrap it up on the program today, but do remember the conversation doesn't end here. It continues via the social media addresses showing on your screen. Thank you for watching. I'm Victor Matthias.